Hello, can everyone hear me? So I'm going to be learning Svelte again. This is like direct continuation from my last stream. Hold on. So last stream we made this. We were following this tutorial. The tutorial Svelte provides. We did introduction, routing, and loading page, and we made this home, about, and blog. And okay, there are a lot of. Let me close this. Yeah. So in my learning Svelte folder, this is where my project is. In my source, I have these routes. So the app.html, this is the main app. This is where, like, this is the main page, the root page, I should say. And then within the roots, so I have SvelteKit.body, in div display contents. Within the roots, I have page.svelte and layout.svelte. And within the layout, I specified basically this structure with the navigation over here and the page over here. Yeah, see the navigation and the page is rendered through this children. And all the page detail comes from this prop in the children function. And the page is like this is the default home page. So look at the URL. The root is this one, home page. And then in the about page, and then we have the blog page. So we have this about page over here and blog page, and then about page we have page.svelte, and then in the blog page we have page.svelte. Also we can pass in like parameters. So if I do safety notice, see there's a parameter cake. This cake is used as a parameter for slug. This slug over here has now would then have the value of this cake. So page.svelte, it shows the blog and all this information, all the blog information is coming from data.js. I'm just showing you the general structure the tutorial is teaching us. And yeah, in page.server.ts, we can write a function to do server-side rendering. So all this function, this load function happens on the server. This is where I get the data from the data.js and return it from the load function. And in page.svelte, I can get the data from this props thing, this props function. You can get the data and then use it over here. Then in slug, I have layout. Oh, same thing for layout. So layout.svelte and layout.server.ts, this happens in the server side. So this is what I learned so far. So let's see what's next. Headers and cookies. Setting headers. Inside a load function, as well as in form actions, hooks, and API routes, you have access to a set header function, which unsurprisingly can be used to set headers on a response. Most commonly, you would use it to customize caching behavior with the cache control response header, but for the sake of this tutorial, we will do something less advisable and more dramatic. So load, set header, content type, plain text. So let's see what they're asking. This is in routes page server. So routes page.server.js. Page.server. I will use ts. Export function load return not return set header. set header, set header. But the thing is, this is undefined over here. Let's see what they did. So in sources, routes, page.server.svelte. So solve it. Routes, set header. I'll just copy this. But the thing is, why is there like a red line over here? Shouldn't be import set header. It's not clear to me what set header does. This is stuck. I'm just waiting for this to load. Until then, I should go next to the cookies. The set headers function can't be used with the set cookie header. Instead, you should use the cookies API. In your load functions, you can read a cookie with cookie.get name options. To set a cookie, use cookies.set. It's strongly recommended that you explicitly configure the path when setting a cookie, since browser's default behavior, somewhat uselessly, is to set the cookie on the parent of the current path. Now, if you reload the iframe, hello stranger becomes hello friend. Calling cookies.setName causes a set cookie header to be written, but it also updates the internal map of cookies, meaning any subsequent call to cookies get during the same request will return the updated value. Under the hood, the cookies API uses the popular cookie package, and options passed to cookies.get and cookies.set correspond to the parse and serial option from cookie documentation. I don't get what the text plane did. I don't see any changes to my thing. So now let's do the what they're asking. So load, we also have cookies. Cookies. Let's do a hello friend over here. script, let data be equal to props. So the data from server side will go here. Hello. Let's see. Cookies dot get visited cookies dot get visited return visited. Hold on. Let v equal this. V equal true. Any subsequent calls to cookies.getName during the same request will return the updated value. Enable copy and paste. So copy. But I still don't understand the set headers thing. Visited becomes true. Hello data dot visited. Friend stranger. This is wait. Now I need to change the header. This is text plain. Now it needs to render as HTML. Now it says hello friend. Okay, now let's delete that cookie. Application, storage, cookies, delete. Now refresh. Hello stranger, as if I was visiting the first time. Now I'm visiting the second time. Now it says hello friend. Can I make, okay, it updates all of it. No. Okay, now it's set to TS, right? Because SvelteKit uses a directory-based routing, it's easy to place modules and components alongside the routes that use them. A good rule of thumb is to put code close to where it's used. Sometimes code is used in multiple places. When this happens, it's useful to have a place to put them that can be accessed by all routes without needing to prefix imports with dot dot dot. In SvelteKit, that place is the source library directory. Anything inside this directory can be accessed by any module in source via the lib alias. So library, we have index. Place files you want to input through the lib alias in this folder. I don't need index, right? If I delete this, would anything happen? HTML. Well, I mean, it's not doing anything anyways. I can just rename it. Both page.swell files are in this exercise. Both page.swell files in this exercise import source lib message.js. But if you navigate to a deeply nested root, the app breaks up because we got the prefix wrong. Update it to lib message.js. So we have page.swell here, a deeply nested root. Hello from lib message. So lib message, or using the they're using routing, right, with the dot dot. But instead we should do it like this. We should do it like this. Over here we should do it like this. I don't know why this is taking so long. So if I go to lib message.tx ts, and then I have this import. No, hold on. How do I import? We have message here. Yeah, hello from lib message. In the chapter on loading data, we saw how to get data from the server to the browser. Sometimes you need to send data in the opposite direction, and that's where form, the web platform's way of submitting data, comes in. Let's build a to-do app. We have already got an in-memory database set up in source library server database.js, and our load function in source routes page.server.js uses the cookies API so that we can have a per user to-do list, but we need to add form to create new to-dos. If we type something into the input and hit enter, the browser makes a post request because of the method post attribute, because of this. So we have routes, we have lib server database within the database. Okay, and then in the routes they have page.sort. What is page.server? Uh, the browser makes a post request to the current page, but that request is but that results in an error because we haven't created a server side action to handle the post request. Let's do that now. So constant actions. The request is a standard out request object. or they mean this. Await request.form data returns a form data instance. So this request by default it's referring to post ones only. What if we do get? Okay, let's try that over here. So we have about, we have blog. Now we have to do. To do. Now they have this. Let's copy this. To do page dot swell dot page dot swell. So we have all this. Data.todos is unknown because we need this data is supposed to be from the server side. Page dot server dot ts. Let's copy their server side. Lib server database. Okay, let's just do database. Now lib database dot js dot ts dot ts. User ID string 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 delete string string number. Okay, let me see what they're doing here. We have user ID. Get user ID crypto random. This returns a string cookies dot set and then ID get to do's. Get to do's. If not get, then set it. Hold on. Type to do type ID string descript description string done boolean. How do I fix this issue? This cookies, it's going to bother me. What's this? Unused CSS label. So what do we have to do? Yeah, what is it right now to do? So in the default page, sorry, in layout.svelte, we have to do page.svelte. So to do learn SvelteKit. And now I need to add and remove it, right? Uses cookies API so that we have a per user to do list. But we need to add a form to create new to-dos. So method post label added to do. And then UL to do. So we have this form over here. Add it to do. And then when we hit enter, it would add it, right? We type something into input and hit enter. The browser makes a post request to the current page, but that results in an error because we haven't created a server-side action to handle that post. And the action handling is done over here. Page.server. So in to do, we have page.server. Create to do data.get description. So that comes from here. Request.form data. Okay. Uh, hit enter. Okay. Now if I type something, hit enter. Now it's over here. Okay, that's test 3. Let me check the cookies. Okay, I will save this, Control C. And then what I'm going to do is write some, I will write test. Then I'll reload. And it's going to be empty. And I'm going to do check 1, check 2. Now I'm going to take this, my previous user ID, and I will reload. And I'm guessing it's going to save the previous data. Yeah. A page that only has a single action is in practice quite rare. Most of the time, you will need to have multiple actions on the page. In this app, creating a to-do isn't enough. We would like to delete them once they're complete. Begin by replacing our default action with named create and delete action. So on page server.js, yeah, they have a delete action and a so server side actions. There's a default action, a create action, and a delete action. Create, delete. Create does what default does. Then we have delete. And then what about on the form? The form element has an option and action attribute which is similar to an A elements H, href attribute. Update the existing form so that it points to the new create action. Uh, Hold on, let me. In a DB, is there a delete? Okay. So what is this default? Oh, should I remove the default? So create method post. So how do we use method get here? Action. So what they're saying we do is question mark create. Oh, we can write any action. It doesn't have to be create. Create this, and we can write delete also, right? Since delete is already defined in the database. Delete. Delete a to do. Add a to do. Happy. So they added happy and now delete test 3. Why does it say not found? Why does delete not work? Is it correct? Delete user data.getID. But the thing is crypto random UUID. We create, delete. I don't think we should delete by ID. We should delete by description, right? Because the user won't know the ID. Create a form for each to do. Complete it with a hidden input that uniquely identifies it. Form method post action delete. Hold on, let me see what they're doing here. I think they're using a symbol for delete. To do page.solve. Instead of this, they are doing li form input hidden ID value to do dot ID to do the description button mark as complete. So each one is clickable. Input hidden, type hidden. Why would it be hidden? If it's not hidden, now let's see. Oh, it shows the ID though, but it does delete it. Button area label, delete. Now should work. What is remove.svg? Dot remove.svg. Okay, let's just add this. Remove.svg. How do I edit? So how do I edit the file? Open with. Now, if we go here, the background is remove.svg, but it doesn't work. Let's see. Maybe it should be defined in the routes. Okay, let's just skip this. Oh, now it works. I don't need the delete anymore. So here's a trash bin. Delete. Now it works. Forms validation. How much is left? Users are a mischievous bunch who will submit all kinds of nonsensical data if given the chance. To prevent them from causing chaos, it's important to validate form data. The first line of defense is the browser's built-in form validation, which makes it easy. For example, mark an input as required. So add it to do, the input is required. Add it to do required. But try hitting enter while the input is empty. It won't allow. This kind of validation is helpful but insufficient. Some validation rules can't be expressed using input attributes, and in any case, if the user is an elite hacker, they might simply delete attributes using the browser step tool. To guard against these sort of shenanigans, you should always use server-side validation. In source library server database.js, the description, validate that the description exists and is unique. So create to do description, throw a new error. To do must have a description. So, okay, let's remove this. And on the server side, is the, no, database.ts. Create to do if description is empty, throw a new error. Description is empty. To do, if to do that, fine. To do description. Yeah, what's that? What is this for? If to do's dot find to do, or if there's already a description that exists, to do's must be unique. Now let's try. Whoops. So let's add something. Hello. A. Now let's add an empty. $500 internal error. Try submitting duplicate to do SvelteKit takes an unfriendly looking error page. On the server, we see a to-dos must be unique error. Okay, error description is empty. This is the correct error. It would be much better to stay on the same page and provide an indication of what went wrong so the user can fix it. To do this, we can use the fail function to return data from the action along with the appropriate HTTP status code. So to do, it's on the server side, yeah. So we have action, create, and then the try catch. Action, create, the try catch. Here db create to do, which is normal. Otherwise return fail 422. Description data error. So error dot message. So let's go to do, and now send an empty one. Wait, it failed, didn't it? So shouldn't it return a, unless it returns in the console? Nope. Where does it return? We can access the return value via the form prompt, which is only ever populated after a form submission. Okay. So form is like the output of a form. Form. Wait, I want to see what it outputs. So form console.log form. Now let's see. Oh, so if I do normally blah and then I inspect it, what do I get? What do I get? I get null form. But if I submit empty, what do I get? I get a post 422 error. Okay, this is what. Oh, this is the error, and this is the return value. Description error. Description is empty. Now if I type hello, shouldn't it be 500 internal service error? Internal server error. Progressive enhancements. Because we are using form, our apps works even if the user doesn't have JavaScript. That's great because it means our app is resilient. Most of the time, users do have JavaScript. In those cases, we can progressively enhance the experience. The same way SvelteKit progressively enhances A elements by using client-side rendering. Import the enhance function from the apps.form. Okay. Add the use enhance directive to the form elements. So form method. Is it like pre-built CSS? Enhance. And also here enhance. That's all it takes. When JavaScript is enabled, user enhance will emulate the browser's native behavior except for the full page reload. It will update the form prompt, invalidate all data on successful response, causing load function to rerun. Navigate to a new page on a direct response. Render the nearest error page if an error occurs. Now by updating the page rather than reloading it, we can get fancy with things like transition. I don't care about the use enhanced it. Update the form prop. Invalidate all data on successful response. If this was solved, it does the animation. Customizing use enhance. With use enhance, we can go further than just emulating the browser's native behavior. By providing a callback, we can add things like pending states and optimistic UI. Let's simulate a slow network by adding an artificial delay to our two actions. So, okay. When we create or delete items, it now takes a full second before the UI updates, leaving the user wondering if they messed up somehow. To solve that, add some local state. Hold on, let me delete this. Delete this. Hello. Okay, so creating state false, deleting state empty array, and toggle creating inside the first enhance. So method use enhance. Creating becomes true, then disable creating. Oh, so wait a minute. If I do this, I can't edit the input while it's on the creating stage. If creating saving, oh, I see. Enhance, deleting state. Okay, I won't do this one, but I get the idea. So API routes, get handlers. Circuit, wait, how long is this? Circuit allows you to create more than just pages. We can also create API routes by adding server.js file that exports functions corresponding to HTTP methods. This app fetches data from a role API route when you click the button. Create that route by adding routes role server.js. Hold on. So they have routes. This app fetches data from role API route. So routes role server.js to we routes new folder role server.js. Hold on, in the home page. No, not the home page. The layout you have to do, and now we have role. Page dot svelte. This is the role page. Okay. Now here we have a random get function. It's saved in the server.js get function math.floor random and then response number. Argument of type number is not assignable to body init. As body init. Would this work? Clicking the button now works. Hold on. So let's see. What is this add type number? So let number state function role fetch role number await response.json. Roll the dice and then we run the roll function. Roll the dice. Okay. But how do we get this to body.init? Page.sweat. No, server. Body init null undefined. What is the body? So how do I define the value of type body init? Request handlers must return a response object. Since it's common to return JSON from an API route, SvelteKit provides a convenience function for generating these responses. Okay, so importing from JSON kit, return JSON number. You can add handlers to mutate data such as post. In most cases, you should form actions instead. You will end up writing less code and it will work without JavaScript, making it more resilient. Inside the keydown event handler of the added to do input, let's post some data to the server. Uh, inside of the keydown event handler of the add a to do input, let's post some data to the server. I don't understand what's happening. So routes input response fetch to do method post. Oh, they're using the actions, right? Where is it? In to do this action. Action, and what are they doing? The input fetch to do method post. Oh, it would use the default though. Posting some JSON to the to do API using a user ID from the user's cookie and receiving the ID and receiving the ID of the newly created to do in response. Create the to do route by adding to do server file with a post handler. Okay, so with fetch to do, they go to server.js. Otherwise, with file, with like, where is it? In to do. Otherwise, with forms, they use the actions, right? I'm just guessing though. So we have, okay, they defined post over here in the server.js. As with load functions and form actions, the request is the standard request object. Await request.json returns the data that we posted from the event handler. Do we do get from, how do we get the input from get? Do we also do like request.json in get as well? We are returning a response with 210 created status and the ID of a newly generated to do in our database. Back in the event handler, we can use this to update the page. You should only update data in such a way that you get the same result by reloading the page. Okay. Similarly, we can add handlers for other HTTP verbs. Add a to-do ID route by creating to-do ID server.js file with the put and delete handlers for toggling and removing to-dos using the toggle to-do and delete to-do function. Okay, I'll just go to the next. How much is left? So app state and errors and redirects. SvelteKit makes three read-only state objects available via the app state module: page, navigating, and updated. The one you will be using the most often is page, which provides information about the current page. So URL, the URL of the current page, params, the current page's params. What is the app state module? Status, error, data, and form. Each of these properties is reactive using state.raw. Under the hood, here's an example using path URL name. Using page.url.ename. Page URL name. Okay, so app read-only state objects via the app state module. Okay. The navigating object represents the current navigation. When when a navigation starts because of a link click or a forward backward navigation or a programmatic go to, value of navigating will become an object with the following properties: from and to objects with params, route, and URL properties. Type, the type of navigation, link, pop state, or go to. It can be used to show a loading indicator for long running navigations. In this exercise, page.server.js and about page.server.js both have an artificial delay. Inside layout.swell, import the navigating object and add a message to the navbar. So navigating, if navigating to this, hold on, first solve it. I want to see what they're showing. I'm not gonna do this one. I just want to see the effect. Where's the delay? This is the about page. Navigating to this, navigating to about. Okay, now it works. From and to objects with params, route, and the URL properties. So how do they make the delay? Set timeout 1000. So navigating dot to it when I click a URL, for example, home, it first goes to page.server.js, which wait promise, which is going to wait 1 second, right? And then it will load the page. While it's waiting, the navigating dot to will change, and now that exists, it will update over here. Okay, okay. The updated state contains true or false depending on whether a new version of the app has been deployed since the page was first opened. For this to work, your site.config.js must specify kit.version.poll interval. Version changes only happen in production, not during development. For that reason, updated.current will always be false in this tutorial. You can manually check for new versions regardless of poll interval by calling updated.check. A new version is available. Hold on. The updated state contains true or false depending on whether a new version of app has been deployed since the page was first opened. Salt.config.js must specify git version poll interval. So this must specify if undefined, no polling will occur. So let's see. Git version and then poll interval. You can manually check for new versions regardless of poll version by calling updated.check. So they're doing if updated.current, a new version of the app is available. Hold on. But it's the current, right? The updated state contains true or false depending on whether a new version of the app has been deployed. Version changes only happen in production, not during development. For that reason, updated.current will always be false in this tutorial. Okay, the updated part is confusing. So I think this is the last one. I will just read this and then I will end the stream. There are two types of errors in SvelteKit: expected errors and unexpected errors. An expected error is one that was thrown via error helper from SvelteJS kit. Okay, so page with expected error. So expected error, page with expected error. Enhance your COM. This page will never be rendered. Any other error, such as the one in unexpected, new error, kaboom, is treated as unexpected. Okay. When you throw an expected error, you're telling SvelteKit, don't worry, I know what I'm doing here. An unexpected error, by contrast, is assumed to be a bug in your app. When your unexpected error is thrown, its message and stack trace will be logged to the console. The error message is shown to the user, whereas the unexpected error is redacted, replaced with a generic internal error message. That's because error messages can contain sensitive data. When something goes wrong inside a load function, SvelteKit renders an error page. The default error page is somewhat bland. We can customize it by creating routes error.salt. Okay, wait. Solve, and they have the error.salt. This error was expected. So if I go here, shouldn't it load this error was expected? Now it shows. So in the, hold on. This is the error page in the, if there's an error in the home page. The error.salt component is rendered inside the root layout.salt. You can create more granular error.salt boundaries. So wait, what are they saying? Notice that error.salt component is rendered inside the root layout.salt. But what if there's an error in the layout? Uh, kaboom. Why is there a picture of this? Oh, there is the generic. Oh, because I think because of this generic error. Page.status, page.error.message. Oh, this error.salt is for every error, like error in the home page and in the nested page as well. But what if there's an error in the layout though? Fallback errors: if things go really wrong, an error occurs while loading the root layout data or while rendering the error page. SvelteKit will fall back to a static error page. Oh, okay. So root layout or while entering the error page, SvelteKit will fall back to static error page. Add a new layout.server.js. Okay, let's solve this. Game over, code 500. You can customize the fallback error page, create a source error.html. Where is it? Okay, so this over here is from here, error.html. This is the default error page, if the fallback error page. You can also use the redirect mechanism, create a new load page. So redirect from SvelteKit, redirect 703/b. Okay. So we have the A page and the B page. If there's an error in A, hold on. So A will redirect us to B. You can redirect, you can redirect inside load function, form actions, API routes. The most common status code you will use is 303 for form actions, following a successful submission, 307 for a temporary redirect, 308 for a permanent redirect. Redirect throws like errors, meaning no code after the redirect will run. Would this thing load? Is this the last one? Yeah, next one is the advanced salt. Okay, this thing is not loading. I will end the stream here then. And I will create some project in salt and then I will start studying advanced salt. Or I might do some math streams in between. I don't know what my plan would be. Anyways, see you guys next time. Bye.